Good morning. Today is Tuesday, November 4th, 2025. And I just would like to start the morning off by saying I'm not super duper religious, but I did grow up in a household that was hardcore into the Bible. And so a lot of my philosophies stem out of that book. I don't think it's really important whether or not you guys think I believe in Jesus or don't believe in Jesus. All I know is that there's a lot of views on the world that, to me, work pretty good in terms of what the Bible teaches. And I've definitely adopted a lot of those philosophies, but I've had my doubts and concerns about Christianity, religion, and things like that. But today's lesson is about taking risks and not taking risks. I was planning on surprising a friend of mine with tickets to see the Raiders play the Jacksonville Jaguars this weekend. And when I got to Vegas to deliver this surprise, to my surprise, the person who I was going to take to enjoy the game with me was scheduled to work. Now, it's kind of weird that most of the time people, where you think they're gonna be off, they just, it's like, what is it, Murphy's Law? What can't go wrong will go wrong. Well, as it turns out, that's what happened. They weren't able to go because they had to go to work. So I'm stuck with these tickets. And long story short, I decided to do an experiment. So I went to the fashion show over there on the Las Vegas Strip, and I approached about 20, maybe 30 people, offering them to come with me as my guest to the game. And I presented it as just a general proposal. Like, I would approach the people and say, hey, how you doing? My name is Jerry, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. I'm not trying to trick you or do anything like that. I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions and then maybe ask you another question. And so I would ask them, do they believe themselves to be an optimist or a pessimist? It was amazing how many people didn't even know what those terms meant. But most people have heard of glass half full, glass half empty. So a person who believes that a glass is half full, he is considered to be an optimist because he's always looking at the world with hope. A person who's a pessimist, he's very skeptical, so he has little to no hope, and he's moving through life always looking at people with suspicious eyes and caution. And I can't say that either philosophy is better than the other one, but I would definitely say that if you're looking to get a whole lot out of life, you got to be willing to take risk, and you got to be prepared to take losses. You've got to be willing to take losses, because the only way you're going to learn and grow and become a blessing to yourself and a blessing to others is you got to figure out how to navigate through this world to where the losses don't hurt as much, to prevent you from enjoying the gains that you are sure to receive in life. So anyway, I asked the people if they were into sports. Most people are optimists or pessimists, glass half empty, glass half full. They would say, I'm an optimist. And it's kind of funny how everybody truly thinks that they're optimists. I think I'll do a video on people's misperceptions of themselves. I think I'll do another video on that. But in this video, here we go. They would say they're optimistic. Most people think they're optimistic. But I would say, do you like sports? And they'd say, yes. And I said, how about American football? Do you like American football? Like the Raiders? Because, hey, the Raiders are playing today. Would you like to see a football game like the Raiders playing live at the stadium? They said, of course. I says, well, I have an extra ticket that I will give to you for free to be my guest attending the game. The game starts in about an hour. So if you are free to come with me to the game, I'll be happy to have you as my guest. No strings attached other than me being your get, accompanying you, and we'll share and enjoy the game together. The reason behind me making this offer is I had plans to bring someone else. They have work to do, and unlike me, they can't really call in sick or rearrange your schedule at will. When you own your own business, you have the liberty and the flexibility of basically stopping work and hopping on a plane and going wherever the heck you want to go. And so they couldn't make it. How about we go together? And the people would ultimately say no. And when I probe deeper to say, well, why not? They would come in with a very skeptical view. Well, how do I know you're not a murderer? How do I know that, this is not a scam, or you're setting me up for something else? I says, well, you really won't know until you say yes and go and see. But for every objection that you have, some might be very well justified, and many are not going to be justified. Most of the reservations people had were really unjustified because we're going to a public event. There's going to be a lot of people there. There's going to be a lot of security people there. There's going to be a lot of policemen there. So if in fact I'm being a charlatan or I'm trying to set them up for something, then they would find out pretty well, and there's plenty of options that they could use to protect themselves. So long and the short of it was, after they said no, I would just go through all of their objections and just tell them, well, I understand. I'm not trying to sell you on coming with me. I'm just illustrating to you that life is full of risk, and sometimes some things are very much a good risk to take because you really don't have a whole lot to lose, and you definitely have a whole lot to gain. I mean, so many people, when they look forward to becoming successful, they look forward to being able to buy season tickets to big sporting events or be able to go to expensive concerts. But shoot, the best way I'd love to go is if somebody else is footing the bill for free. So if somebody were to offer me something like a free trip with no strings attached, count me in. So anyway, I ended up running into, I was just about ready to give up. I go to the stadium, and there's a guy, he's walking. I approach him and I go through my little spiel, and he says, yeah, I had some tickets. His name was Mr. Hernandez. That's the only name I'm gonna give you. And kudos to Mr. Hernandez for taking the risk of going to a game for free. He got good seats. I mean, we were like maybe 40 feet away from the football field in the end zone at the stadium, and literally we could see the faces of the players inside their mask, and we could actually hear what was going on as the game progressed. So I think the tickets were about $250 a piece or something like that, and he was able to enjoy the game for free. And I think the reason why he was so willing to take the risk was because of just his own ability to hustle and do business. Because he said, yeah, I just sold some tickets because I didn't want to go watch the game by myself. And I said, oh, wow, well, that's the whole reason why I'm here. I was just asking, here, I'll give you the ticket only in as much as that you'll come as my guest. We'll go through the thing together. We'll go have a seat and watch the game. And if you want a drink, you want some food, I'll even treat you to a snack at the snack bar, a drink at the whatever. And so we watched the game, enjoyed the game. I was a little disappointed that the Raiders lost because it really looked like they had the game in hand at a certain point, but they lost. And but I have now a new friend, Mr. Hernandez. He's in business doing some wonderful things out there in Vegas, and he's definitely saying that, business is starting to slow down because tourism has shrunk. But he was willing to take the risk, and he got a blessing. Now, one of the side issues that I'll say, and then I'll close off with this, was that I got into almost like an argument with this gay guy. And he was basically saying me offering this free gift was so inappropriate. And I'm just kind of scratching my head like, what's inappropriate about somebody offering strangers something for free? Doesn't cost you anything. All you have to do is say yes and go, or you say no and it's over. What's so inappropriate about all this? But he ended up telling me about his life, which to me was totally inappropriate. I don't need this. I'm gay, and I've been in a relationship with a guy for 20 years, and I got a dude on the side, and I'm like, I don't care to hear all of this nonsense about your personal life like this. I mean, talk about inappropriate. I'm just like being blown away by everything he's disclosing to me. But I just told him, I says, well, I just find it interesting that you would say what you're saying to me about what's inappropriate. But this kind of reminds me, because you're so hostile, your attitude is so confrontational and aggressive. I said, maybe this is what makes a lot of people so concerned about people that are gay. Because, I've been offered many things, and I tell people, thank you, but no thank you, and keep it moving. There's no reason for us to have such a interaction. But I said, this really strikes me as a philosophy where Jesus, I'm offering you a gift where all you have to do is say yes and go, or say no. And I said, Jesus is saying the same thing to every human being on this planet. He basically said, there's a passage in the Bible where Jesus says, I came so that you could just not have life, but have life in abundance. And the only thing you have to do is come with me. Come with me. He's out this invitation. Come with me and find out if what I'm telling you is true. And same principle. You say yes and go, or you say no, thank you. And you try to make sense out of this life, this world, this whole existence on your own. And I would just say that I haven't really adhered to everything that the Bible teaches, but for the things that I have adhered to, I definitely say that life turned out to be way better than it would have with me trying to play a guessing game and figure this thing out all on my own. And all I had to do was just say yes and go. So I just hope everybody will not be so skeptical to miss out on real blessings, opportunities to meet people, because me and Mr. Hernandez, his girlfriend, and myself, along with my girlfriend, we're going to end up going to maybe one Running Rebels football game, or maybe two. There are two Running Rebel games left. And he had mentioned this to me because he said, the tickets to these games are a lot cheaper, and you'll have a great time, because we were talking about the stadium, the stereo system, and all of this. He says, man, you can come to a Running Rebels game, even though the crowds might not be as packed as the professional footballs. It gets loud and it's very entertaining. You're going to really love to see these people play. And I said, great. So I'm planning to coordinate with Mr. Hernandez a dinner / football night on one of these weekends coming before the football season's over in college, and enjoy ourselves. So, it's turned out to be an even greater blessing to me in that I've discovered some more fun and less expensive and interesting things to do here in this world by taking the risk of just giving. So I would just ask for all of those listening to my podcast today, how many of you are in a position to offer at no cost or expense to anyone a free gift that ultimately can lead to their enjoyment and their benefit? And if you have that ability, kudos to you. And having that ability doesn't mean you've actually exercised it. I challenge you to actually exercise it, because I'll be honest with you, when I was offering it to all these different people, I was starting to get a complex, like, do I got a booger on my nose? I mean, am I not dressed appropriately? Do I look scary? And I don't think I look scary. I think I look very average to normal. I don't think too many people would call me a creep, but I definitely would kind of wonder why anybody would think to not take me up on this free offer to go to a public event where these tickets are $250 a piece or whatever. I mean, it's like, I'll take that deal all day, every Sunday. But anyway, you guys be blessed. Talk to you soon.